Hello, I'm Clint Walker, and this is Real Estate Appraiser Secrets. And today we're going to talk about the fact that what you put in your listing, what you advertise, matters. And it matters a lot. In the course of my business, working with agents, and it's the whole reason I started these videos was because of the questions that I get asked a lot. But you can imagine that the most common thing that I get asked, or the most common subject that I get asked questions on, is the value of certain things, and whether things matter, and whether things add value, and how much extra value they add. I think I've done videos in the past that discuss the idea that those questions are tough just because they always sort of are based on the assumption, which is almost never true, that you can find two properties that are exactly the same, right? That's the only situation where you could really say, a deck is worth X dollars more because you found a house that's exactly the same and it doesn't have that. So I get those types of questions a lot, and they're virtually impossible to answer. But what I want you to know is that nothing in real estate will ever have value if you as an agent are not advertising it, okay? So these extra decks, these downtown views, swimming pools, whatever, you will know, you as the boots on the ground, as the market area expert, if you truly are, working in a market enough to be an authority on what buyers and sellers are paying money for, or getting money for, when you encounter one of those things that you need to advertise it. And that is really your biggest indication, and maybe your most authoritative answer as to whether or not a thing has value. So, for instance, if you're operating in parts of the metropolitan area of Nashville where downtown views are important, I'm getting a phone call, of course, then you know that you need to advertise those downtown views. And if you do, because they matter, your house will your listing will bring more money or sell faster, because selling faster is a premium aspect of value, is a value. Your house will bring more money or sell faster than a property that doesn't have it. And you know, as the expert, that you need to advertise it to get that. That is the same thing that the appraiser's looking for if they're going to give you value for anything, okay? We take a handful, say, to use round numbers, we'll take 10 listings in that area. 5 of them have downtown views, 5 of them don't. For a lot of things, we can equalize the other differences using appraisal techniques. And at the end, if we get everything else equalized, and those 5 with a downtown view are still higher than the 5 sold for more money than the 5 that don't have the downtown view, then that is the value of the downtown view. And then we can make that adjustment. The ones that do not have it, we can add money. We can add that amount of money to those. But you see, we are extracting the value of that downtown view directly from comparing those sales to each other. And if you, as the agents, aren't advertising these features, then a buyer can't necessarily pay for them. And even if the buyer who goes to the property and sees it and is willing to throw some money at it, even though you didn't advertise it, the appraiser doesn't know that they did that because you didn't put it in the listing, okay? So what you put in the listing is vitally important to your business in being able to get value out of these things that you would really like to get value out of for your sellers. And the technique of pulling value out of the market like that is the most authoritative way for us to do it. That is our top priority, is to pull it out of the market that way, because we want to be able to say this is what buyers are actually paying, and pulling it out of a closed sale like that is the way that you show that that's true. Now, barring anything else, I think when agents ask me what is something worth, what they really are hoping for, at least based on my interactions, is that we have a cheat sheet of values for things, and we don't. I mean, if your appraiser's using one, they're doing it wrong. We can maintain records in our office of values that we have continuously extracted over time from a market, and we can refer to those in our own work just for the sake of efficiency. But determining what a buyer is willing to pay on any given thing is the most authoritative way. Now, insurance companies and things like that, they use another technique called a depreciated replacement cost of improvements. That's where, if you have an idea that we have a cheat sheet, that's really what you're thinking of. And an appraiser can use that. Sometimes we do use it when we got no better data for an adjustment, and we feel like we really just need to try to equalize these properties in some way. But the problem with a depreciated replacement cost adjustment, while it is fair to use it, it's not necessarily what a buyer's paying, and that is the information that you really want. And that is the information that you and I, when we're working as agents, can prove is happening in a market. And when we show the lender appraiser that data, if we show them good data that we have intentionally tried to prove this thing, they will take that to heart more often than not and see if they can prove it too in looking at closed sales. Because these things are difficult to prove, but they can be proven. So it's been really tough. That aspect of what we are looking for in your listings is very difficult for us, because I'm sympathetic. I know as an agent that the listing serves a lot of purposes, right? I mean, it's not just listing out a bunch of features that you think are selling points. It's crafting a sort of a flowery marketing headline and descriptions of the property. But even in that, if you put these things in there, we can start to see the pattern and the trend that you as the agent think they matter, and so you're advertising it. The buyers are reading that, and if in fact there is a trend of people paying a premium for it, then we can attribute it to that. That's all there is to it. So I hope that's helpful. Sort of a short video, but I wish I had a good story to go along with it. But it sort of speaks for itself. It's just sort of a different way of looking at the MLS that I think as agents we don't often do, especially, I don't want to get off on too big a tangent here, but the listings, and you've probably done them, that say for comp purposes only, and they just got a picture of a blurry picture of half the house, no interior pictures, no description, no nothing, because the agent who put that in thinks that the price per square foot of that property is useful for comps. That's worthless to us. I don't know, maybe you can do something with it, but your appraiser cannot operate on all the assumptions that type of listing requires a person to operate on. We simply can't. We'll just throw it out and never use it. Unless we can call that agent and just ask them about every detail that having a very basic and reasonable number of pictures of the property would show us. Speaking for, I'm going to go ahead and speak for every appraiser out there. We would love it if you would, if you're going to just put a listing in because you did an off-market sale, and you're going to put that in for comp purposes, give us pictures of the front of the house, the back of the house, and the high-impact interior rooms. Like we would love to see what kind of condition the interior's in. A picture is worth 1,000 words. So give us a picture of the living room, kitchen, bathroom, a couple bedrooms with your cell phone, so that we can actually use that if you want it used for your next listing. So anyway, I hope that's all helpful. I always appreciate you watching, and we will catch you next week.